And welcome into this edition of ACAP Today, the last Community Action Month episode of ACAP Today for the week of May 31st, 2021. Almost June. Actually, it is June by the time you're watching this. Happy June, everyone. I'm Jason Parent with the Aroostook County Action Program. On this week's edition, we're going to talk with a success story, another success story, a customer success story in our continuing and final installment of our Community Action series. We're going to chat with her and her family coach in just a little bit. But before we get to that very meaningful interview, we're going to first check in with the news and information that you can use again for this week, this first week of June 2021. And we start in our news with information about ACAP and the partner healthcare organizations across Aroostook County Don't Wait, Vaccinate campaign. You may have seen commercials on television or seen other print materials such as the one you're seeing here on the screen, encouraging the Aroostook County community to consider getting vaccinated. We are just a little over 50% here in Aroostook County and are hoping to get more folks vaccinated. This information here that you're seeing on our screen answers some of the key questions that are being posed about vaccines. We will have more information to share with you about an upcoming community forum where we will have doctors here in Aroostook County answering your questions on the COVID-19 vaccine. We will be doing that a lot. We will be doing that live on WAGM. It is looking like that is going to happen the 8th of June, 2021. Be on the lookout for more information on that community forum live on WAGM featuring local doctors. WAGM's own Kelly O'Mara and I will be hosting that episode, but we hope that you will join us for that. And also in the meantime, check out our Don't Wait, Vaccinate information that's being posted regularly on our social media presence. Also, the county hospitals are also sharing that information and many of the other healthcare providers in the region as well. Again, be on the lookout for the Don't Wait, Vaccinate campaign. Speaking of which, how do you get vaccinated? Well, there's the website here listed on the screen, the maine.gov/COVID-19/vaccines, where you can look for an appointment. If you need assistance registering for an appointment here locally, you can call us at 764-3721, and we will help you get connected with your local healthcare provider to get your vaccine in time. Also, if you are in need of transportation for your vaccine appointment, you can call 1-855-608-5172. Please do reserve that at least 48 hours in advance of your scheduled vaccine appointment, that ride that is. Speaking of vaccines on wheels, the COVID-19 mobile vaccination unit by the Federal Emergency Management Agency is coming all the way up to Aroostook County. They will be in Madawaska at the Multipurpose Center on 7th Avenue, June 5th through 7th. That's a Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. They will be there on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. On Sunday, they will set up shop from 8:30 to 5 p.m. and on Monday from 8:30 to 2 p.m. This mobile vaccination unit provides the one-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which is approved only for adults age 18 and above. For more information, the telephone number and the website are there on your screen. If you have not already gotten your vaccine and are in the Madawaska area on those 3 days, we encourage you to see this as a resource. There's also Northern Maine Medical Center and Fish River Rural Health that serve that community as well, and we encourage you to find your vaccine one way or the other up in the St. John Valley. And an event at the other end of the county now, this event in Houlton put on by Aid for Kids and Caring Hands of Maine and Yukon Dental School. These three organizations are partnering together to provide Aroostook charitable dental care days. Those will be free screenings, basic dental treatments for those without dental care. And we're encouraging folks to start the summer out with a healthy smile. This will be held at the Rollerama of Houlton at 494 North Street. It will be happening from Monday through Thursday, the 7th through the 10th of June, and they are available on those days. If you would like additional information or would like to schedule an appointment, these are no charge dental appointments. The number is 667-6789, and we encourage all of you without a dental home to consider using this resource to get your pathway to oral health at least started. The other piece of information that we wanted to pass along to you this week that we've been sharing with you over the past several weeks now is about the Emergency Broadband Benefit Program that is available to eligible families. This is put on by the Federal Communications Commission, and it's really providing billions of dollars in federal aid to help lower the cost of high-speed internet for eligible households as we continue to find our way out of the COVID-19 pandemic. Benefits do include up to $50 a month discount for broadband services, or up to $75 a month discount for broadband services for households on tribal lands. There's also a one-time discount opportunity of up to $100 for a laptop, a desktop computer, or tablet purchased through a participating provider. It's limited to one monthly service discount and one device discount per eligible household. That program is now open. You can check it out on the Federal Communication Commission's website, which is fcc.gov. And if you go /broadband benefit, all of the latest information and way to register is right there on the website. We wanted to alert the community, especially if you're living in the Holton or Caribou vicinity, that we do have a couple of childcare openings at each location. These are rare and very few and far between, but if you have any questions, we do have an application on our ACAP website for childcare in our locations across Aroostook County, or you can give us a call at 764-3721. Don't let not having childcare be the impediment between going back to work and not. So we certainly encourage you, if you're in the Holton or Caribou area, to contact us about these childcare slot openings. The community closet continues to be available at ACAP's 771 Main Street Presque Isle facility to anyone in need. We are reminding community members that they can stop by at any time of the day to pick up clothing or to leave clothing for others, gently used clothing. It does operate under the give what you can, take what you need principle, just like the community cupboard that's nearby in terms of food items. We encourage folks to drop off items. If you're coming in during the business day, you can come right into the ACAP office and drop off the items. If you're dropping them off after hours, just drop them right in the cupboard, in the closet, I should say. Or the same in the cupboard for food items, and we will take care of it the next day. Or if you're so inclined to put it on hangers and hang it right up yourself, we'd certainly appreciate that as well. If your family needs assistance of any kind at this time, and maybe you don't know what assistance is available out there, that's the reason ACAP has program navigators. We'd be very happy to help those individuals connect you with programs and services, not only here within our agency, but others across Aroostook County. It's a key part of our pandemic response, and we're doing it through some of the original CARES Act funding. Give us a call at 764-3721. Again, if you don't know where to turn, and just know that you might need assistance at this time, and we can help you sort through that through our ACAP Navigator program. And lastly, in this week's news and information that you can use, we invite you all to consider joining our team here at ACAP if you are qualified or have the background for any of the positions that we're currently offering, which includes a staff aide in Presque Isle, a purchasing specialist in Presque Isle, as well as an accounts payable and payroll specialist in Presque Isle, or a social worker up in Fort Kent, Madawaska, up in the St. John Valley to serve the community there. Please do consider applying. You can apply at acap-me.org. You can also search for ACAP on Indeed. You can post your resume on our Facebook page through private messenger. We also want to ensure that we remind folks that we have a tremendous benefits package in addition to competitive salary here at the Aroostook County Action Program. Some of the benefits that we offer are noted there on your screen. And again, we would very much welcome members of the community applying for positions here at the Aroostook County Action Program. And as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, this is the last in our series of Community Action Month conversations with individuals and families that ACAP has touched directly in the recent past and recent years. And I'm very pleased to be joined in this webisode by Karen Roy, who's an ACAP family coach, and by Jennifer Smith, who's a former ACAP employee, but also somebody who worked very closely with Karen on her success journey. And I want to welcome you both, Karen and Jen, to the program. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Jason.
Jen, I think the best place to start with you is to share with folks who are watching now about your journey and how you came to work with ACAP and some of the very many great things that you've done.
Okay. Well, a quick recap of the beginning. I had the last set of children were twins, so I signed them up for the early Head Start program, and I think they got in right around they were 2 years old. So they started with Judy and Tara at the Holton ACAP Center. and it was actually Judy. She highly recommended me participating in a parent meeting. So I ended up going to one of the parent meetings, and that's when I think I pretty much officially met Karen. And she talked about family coaching and what her role was. And so I reached out to Karen and talked to her about a job, and I was trying to end my marriage. So we started talking, and I ended up applying for a position with ACAP and got a substitute position and filled in with a kitchen. And then that turned into a full-time position, I think about a year later. And then my twins have gone on to the Head Start program and the childcare portion of it. Karen also helped me with, we did a Building Families Future. She hooked me up with one of the ladies up in Presque Isle, and we did that to help for a housing voucher, which actually didn't really help me at all because there's a lack of housing in this area for sure. So it was unfortunate, but I was never able to use it. And then I went through the first-time home buyers program, and I bought my first home for my kids and I.
Congratulations on that.
Yes, it's exciting. Sometimes it's surreal.
Talk about the difference that has made. I mean, think about what your life was like when you had first enrolled your children in that early Head Start program, and to where it's come now.
Yes, it's been a lot, and it hasn't really been that long. 3 years maybe? I've definitely come a long way. So.
You are now in your own home, and you have we are so sad that you're no longer employed with us, but we're so incredibly proud of you because you sort of spread your wings and tell everybody what you're doing now.
Yep. I work for GEAR Parent Network. We're a family peer support specialists. So we help parents with children with behavioral disabilities and help them find resources and learn ways to better interact with your kids and help them. And then I also was part of the Parent Ambassador program. I'm now a parent, an alumni of that program. So we've been testifying on one of I think it's a Child Development Services bill that is going out, I think today. They're doing testimonies. And then I'm president of the parent committee, which has been a little difficult this year trying to get people involved, especially over Zoom. So that's been challenging. And then I was able to join the policy council since I no longer work for ACAP. So I'm trying to learn the ropes with that. We've only had a few meetings, so.
So you've not only had a tremendous experience yourself over the last few years and come so far, you're now in a position where you're actually helping others by providing guidance to programs here at ACAP, and then obviously through your professional work, supporting others. I think before we started recording, you referred to the fact that you're doing some of the work with others that Karen did with you.
Yes.
And what's that like, coming from an individual and a family that worked so hard to get where you are today?
I find it rewarding. I feel like everybody needs that cheerleader. Karen was certainly mine. A few of the ladies at ACAP, they have been my cheerleader from day one. So for me to be somebody's cheerleader, I'm excited to be that for somebody.
Now, Karen Roy is a family coach and somebody who works so closely with Jennifer. When you hear her talk about just how far she's come in it's a relatively short period of time, she's changed the trajectory of her family's life, and she's done that in partnership with you. How does that make you feel?
sometimes a little overwhelmed. It's amazing to watch the growth that Jennifer has shown in the last less than 3 years is just mind-boggling to me. She was strategic in her planning. She just kept moving forward despite obstacles. And she just, I may have helped to set her up with programs, but she certainly did all she did on her own. I'm very happy for her.
And that really is the philosophy and the approach to the work that you and your colleagues who are ACAP family coaches really employ. You're really working in partnership. The families, Jennifer and her children are sort of in the lead, and we're here to support. Talk about that work sort of beyond Jennifer and just the scope and the difference made that you've seen across families.
Family coaching is a different kind of concept, and it's one that I really, really enjoy. I truly believe that families know best what they need, and sometimes as providers who are trying to set things up for people, you tend to forget that. But that's always in the forefront of my mind, that it's all about what the family needs. It's what I can do to help them reach their goals. I've watched others who, sometimes goals change, and that's fine because they are in the lead. And despite what we might want for a family, it has to be what they want for themselves. And Jennifer certainly wanted a lot of things to move forward for herself.
Jennifer, in the work that you did with Karen, was it helpful for you to set more incremental goals in terms of not necessarily becoming so overwhelmed by them to maybe say, this is what I want to do between now and next month or a few months from now, and then set a new goal? Or did you have your end goal in mind and you sort of worked right toward that?
At the beginning, I had smaller goals because it can be overwhelming with life changes, and I have 5 kids. So I took little steps forward, and I always myself felt accountable to Karen because I made a plan. So I felt that I needed to stick with it. So having that helped me also. So in the beginning, I had done smaller goals. And then I feel like my last big goal was to buy the house. So that was, working through that. That was a longer process just to fix, some of my credit and go through the first time home buyers class and deal with the bank. So, and then obviously find a house.
Yeah, and in this environment, especially, I mean, all of the COVID concerns and the tightening of the housing market. Tell us about this new home of yours and about what how your family is settling in.
Good. It actually it's kind of funny. There weren't many houses in the town of Holton that fit my criteria since there are 6 of us. So, and I only wanted to spend so much money. So this was actually one of the only houses in this area that worked for me, and it fits us perfectly. We have a lovely backyard that's fenced in. We have, a good size home where we're not all on top of each other. We're right downtown, so we can walk everywhere if we wanted to. So it's nice.
That is great to hear. One of the things I want to talk with both you and Karen about is we talked a lot about your part of the journey and your successful gaining of employment and moving on. You gained part-time employment and then full-time employment with us, and then you moved on to a professional career of your own. So you've done tremendously well. But we talk about the fact that you had enrolled 2 of your children in the early Head Start program. Talk about how they're developmentally maybe more ready for school as a result of the work that they've done in terms of programs, because the work that Karen does really does focus on the whole family. So while she was working with you, she was also working with your family.
Yes, the twins are doing fantastic. I feel like it's very important to have early interaction with your kids for school, any sort of structured environment, which ACAP provides the early Head Start program. So they got their routine. They had, their free time. They had creative time. They were able to do things and learn. They're testing well for they're above some levels of testing for kindergarten ready now. They know all their, letters, numbers, shapes, colors. They're getting ready to read. So they're doing fantastic.
And really, Karen, that's what it's about, because what we're hearing here from what Jennifer is saying is just listening to the number of individuals who you've brought into and who she's brought into her orbit in this. So there's the classroom teachers. There was Hope in the Building Families Futures program when she worked toward getting the housing voucher, which she was unfortunately able to use, but then Greg in the home buyer education program. So you've really, and part of the role of a coach is to bring the resources to bear to work with families like Jennifer's, correct?
Yes, yes. And then to provide support as they're working towards their goals. It's not always an easy process for anyone to deal with. There's a lot there. What Jen accomplished in this amount of time is just amazing. But there were times where it was difficult. And I think having some support, certainly from myself, but also from the classroom teachers. And I'm going to give a shout out to Judy, because she was an incredible impetus in this process. She spoke with me numerous times. She really spoke with Jen and encouraged her to talk with me. And she will certainly be missed, but she was definitely probably one of Jen's strongest backers. She really wanted her to move forward.
She's a blessing.
And I'm sure she continues to be. I bet she's a spirit watching over your family. It was very unfortunate that we heard recently that our longtime family member here at ACAP, Judy Putnam, who we're referencing here, passed recently. And she was certainly a very gifted educator, but also a wonderful human being, as Karen and Jen are both attesting here. So it's really, Jen, it's about people as much as about programs, or more so than programs, I should say, because it isn't early Head Start or the home buyer education program or the Building Families Futures program. It's not about the program name or even the funding source or what have you, but it's about the people and the connections and those individuals who are going to help you spread those wings.
Yes, well, I feel like the staff and the fam is at ACAP is in Holton is just they are a wonderful blend of human beings, and I couldn't imagine not knowing any of them.
And we're glad that they're a part of your life, and I know that they're glad that you're a part of theirs. What's next, Jen? How are let's talk. We've talked about the children more in terms of their development and programs, but how are they doing? How are you doing as a family? I know you've got some children older than the twins, and must be getting ready for some milestones in their life as well.
Yep. I finally have a driver. So we have another household driver. And yep, he'll be off to be a senior next year.
Wow.
Yep. And I'll have one off in third and fourth. So we're gonna take a little family vacation soon. I've worked hard. So it's this was our first trip as like a family to go somewhere fun. So
Wow. And so you've gone from a position where you were really just, struggling to get by to the next day, to a point where now you get to have your first family vacation together. How wonderful is that?
yes, it's exciting.
It is very exciting. I'm just so pleased to hear that your success just continues. Every time I was so sad to see when I got the notice that you would be leaving us, but I'm so incredibly proud of what you've accomplished. And I think the best part about it, and I know that Karen would agree with this, is that you haven't just taken what you've gotten and sort of kept it within your family. You've really become an advocate. You were talking about the advocating at the legislature for an important bill that would help other families that are going through circumstances like your family went through. Why is that so important to you to pay it forward?
I think it's because it's not a good feeling to feel like you're alone. And to have other people know that you're not alone, and there is support out there, and it's okay to ask for help, um, to move on to the next step. So I still struggle with asking for help sometimes, but I think it's important to know that it's okay to ask for help and that it's out there. And I'm definitely a strong advocate for kids are our future. So if we don't invest in our kids, um, I don't feel like our future is going to be any better than what it is right now. So I think it's important to invest in them.
Absolutely. Karen, you're working with many other families currently right now. How are other families faring right now? Jen obviously has managed to thrive to the extent that it's possible to thrive in the context of this pandemic, but how are families in Southern Aroostook that you're working with doing?
Well, there's certainly a mix. I have several families working towards their goals with a lot of um, hope and success for some. I think it's a wonderful thing. Other people are struggling. Certainly, COVID has affected the lives of many, many, many of the families I'm working with. And so it's in trying to make sure that they are getting their needs met. And that can be pretty constant because there's a lot of people who are struggling right now. But that's what we do, is making sure that people have the needs met so that they can move forward in their lives as well. And I truly believe in doing that. So.
Jennifer, what are your hopes for your family's future? You're going to have a senior graduating in 2022 from high school. And what are your hopes and dreams for him, right? It's your son, correct?
Yes. Yeah. He's interested in, he has a few colleges he wants to apply for, more technology, I believe. So we'll see. So that's a big goal for him. It's going to be different without him here for sure. Just the girls and I when he leaves off to college. So I really want my kids to be happy. I have to think that that's my number one goal, for them to be happy. I lived too long not being happy, so I just want them to be happy and support.
Do they appreciate? I had the feeling that they did the day that we got together with you last late summer in the courtyard there in Fulton, and you did speak with Senator Collins at that event. That especially your older children get the sense for really, at least in their eyes and in our eyes, the hero that you are to them. Do you feel that has made a difference in their upbringing, that they saw you overcome and work against all odds, that persistence is something that you've carried forward to them and that they come to appreciate?
I sure hope so. This life, day to day, every day here can be chaotic with everyone's schedules and moods, but I feel like eventually that they will see more of it as they get older, and I hope that they learn to appreciate, you know, struggles, and that they have that strength.
They certainly do. They have some awesome, strong mama genes. Thanks to the efforts that you've done and all that you've done for them, because everything that you've done has been for your family, and advancing yourself, but bringing them along the ride with you, and that's what we as parents do. Karen Roy, last thoughts about your work with Jennifer's outstanding work on her own and her success, and your coaching here at ACAP.
I will never forget when Jen first approached me to look into coaching, to start working towards her goals. It's a 180 for Jen. She was very quiet when I first met her, didn't really talk a whole lot, but was very interested in getting help. And it's like a totally different person. And it's been amazing to watch. I loved standing back and seeing not only Jen, but the children blossom through the process. And I'm sure that they will recognize that Jen has been an amazing mentor for them as well as a parent, because she's taught them that even when things are really, really tough, you can still get through. As far as coaching, I absolutely love the job. Love working with the families. I truly believe that even when a family is having some difficulties, it doesn't mean they can't move forward. There's always a way to move forward. So I'm just grateful to be here.
That's great advice and spoken from the heart, which is where you work from every day, Karen, right from the heart. Jennifer Smith, I'm listening to Karen Roy, your family coach, say how shy you were when you first came to her. And I can't help but think that this week you testified, that shy girl this week testified before a legislative committee on behalf of others to help make life better, which is our motto here at ACAP, for others. What would the testifying you self say to the less than 3 years ago, again, very short period of time for how far you've come, shy self that first met Karen Roy?
You did it. It's still hard to get in front of people in any aspect for me, but I want to, because I want people to be aware of their options and, not to be alone. So it's still overwhelming sometimes, but I just keep going forward.
And is that the similar advice that you'd have for anybody that's sort of in the footsteps that you were in that period of time ago, that may be just struggling and challenged with getting by? What would you say to them?
I think that it would be important for them to find somebody that was their cheerleader, someone that they could, talk to, not feel judged either, because never once have I ever felt judged by Karen or the ladies at ACAP. They accepted and they were there to support me. So I feel like that's big if you want somebody to open up to you. So when they're going through a time, it's important for somebody not to feel judged.
Great advice. All right. Anything else that either one of you would like to add? I've just enjoyed spending this last 25 minutes or so with the both of you. It's really great to hear about your success, Jen, but also Karen, to hear about your passion for having more people become successful like Jen, because it's why we're here.
I'm just grateful to have been a traveler on Jen's journey.
Like that Jen's journey.
It's absolutely your journey, Jen. I'm glad that I'm here to witness that incredible story, because we're so incredibly proud of you. I was incredibly proud of you last fall when you sat outside of the Houghton Center and shared with Senator Collins and Senator Trey Stewart your story. That took a heck of a lot of bravery, but the most impressive part of that story is that story and everything that you have overcome and all that you have done, and it just keeps on going. Like I'm anxious to see where Jennifer Smith lands next, because it just keeps getting better, and we're so incredibly proud of you. So keep on keeping on, Jennifer. We're rooting for you all the way.
Thank you.
And thank you both for joining me on this last of our Community Action Month series programs. And I couldn't think of a better way to end our month with Jen and Karen. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason.
And before we leave you for this week's ACAP Today and the last of our special Community Action Month spillover series in the month of May, we want to first again thank our guests, but we also want to share with you our Snapshot of the Week. This week's Snapshot of the Week is also a shout out and thank you to Rachel Thurston, who generously donated 28 knitted hats that she made herself. These beautiful hats will be distributed across Aroostook County to our clients in need. And there's a picture of Rachel, beautiful Rachel, and the beautiful hats that she made for our clients. Again, great work there. And thank you so much, Rachel, for your generous donation of your time and your talent and your expertise. We're so grateful to you. And we're grateful to all of you out there for tuning in for this edition of ACAP Today. We'll be back next week with another edition as we head further into June and further into the summer. We'll be returning to some of our normal programming, featuring some of the programs and activities here at the Aroostook County Action Program. Until then, until we see you next week, have a great week, everyone, and a great start to this beautiful Aroostook County summer. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.